has the light-gathering power of 1,000,000 human eyes.
It's extremely rare that in the course of human history, an invention is created which is so profound that it fundamentally changes how an entire world thinks. The hand axe, agriculture, and the printing press are all examples of inventions that did just this. In the early 1600s, a new type of telescope was invented that would once again fundamentally change mankind. This new type of telescope made it possible to observe the planets in our solar system. This would lead individuals like Galileo to come to the understanding that the Earth is not the center of the universe. While it seems like a simple insight, this discovery reverberated so deeply within the consciousness of mankind that everything from that point on was affected. For most of human history, the prevailing opinion was that the world was a symbolic stage. The natural world was full of gods and goddesses, angels and demons, myth and meaning. To ancient peoples, the universe was enchanted. It was alive, and there was a story being told all around them. The insight obtained by Galileo and his contemporaries with the aid of the refracting telescope shattered this belief, and within a few generations led to the scientific revolution in the Age of Reason, the reverberations of which are still felt today. The key to how the refracting telescope works are in the shape of the lenses. The lenses are molded to achieve a distinct parabolic shape, which bends the light and focuses it down a tube onto another lens, which magnifies the image. The purpose of all lenses is to provide the opportunity for light to obtain a focus. By bending light, a lens provides a direction for light particles to move in. In a similar way, the shape of objects can affect how energy moves. For example, a pyramid shape has the ability to magnify energy as it moves upwards. Ra says, "In reality, the pyramid shape does no work. It does not work. It is an arrangement for the centralization as well as the diffraction of the spiraling upward light energy as it is being used by the mind-body-spirit complex. The spiraling nature of light is such that the magnetic fields of an individual are affected by spiraling energy. Certain shapes offer an echo chamber, shall we say, or an intensifier for spiraling prana, as some have called this all-present primal distortion of the one infinite creator. The shape of the pyramid appears to attract light or intelligent energy upward and has an effect on the magnetic field of an individual within the pyramid. The shape has the effect of intensifying intelligent energy, thus enabling the light to more easily diffract through the energy centers depending on the level of focus and consciousness that the individual within the pyramid has. If we look at astrology, we can see that the planets also appear to have an intensifying effect on intelligent energy. Ra says, as each planetary influence enters the energy web of your sphere, those upon the sphere are moved, much as the moon, which moves about your sphere, moves the waters upon your deeps. Your own nature is water, in that you, as mind-body-spirit complexes, are easily impressed and moved. Indeed, this is the very fiber and nature of your journey and vigil in this density, to not only be moved, but to instruct yourself as to the preferred manner of your movement in mind, body, and spirit. The question is, how do the planets influence those among the sphere, and what is it that is influenced? The sun has always been a powerful archetypal image that represents the light of awareness, the divine, and consciousness. It is the physical manifestation of the Logos. About the sun, Hatan says, the third thing that was created by the active principles of creation, love, or Logos, was the photon, that so-called particle wave of yours, which light is created from. Its nature is mysterious to your scientists of your planet, yet this light may be considered to be the physical manifestation of what may be called compassionate wisdom. That is, the light of the sun, for those who wish to be fundamentalist or literalist, is the nearest and most obvious manifestation of the Logos. Planets, like moons, do not produce their own light. What we see when we look up and observe the planets is reflected light. This simple observation may hold a profound key to understanding just how the planets influence the expression of archetypes. Recall that light is a carrier of information. That is, light turns what was formless into a form. It seems reasonable to assume then that it is light that is reflected back to us from planetary bodies that has some sort of effect on us. Since what we see in this world is a reflection of a higher idea, then the light we see isn't what produces the effect per se, meaning the physical photon doesn't have an observable effect. Rather, it is what is represented by the photon that produces the effect, or rather, what is carried by the photon. Visible light is the metaphor for intelligent energy or love. Guo says, when the intelligent energy of the one creator moves from the Logos, from the sun, to your energy field, the magnetic attraction of this energy through the red ray energy center is that which begins your appreciation of catalysts in your life experience according to the choices you have made previous to your incarnation. What's key in this passage from Guo is that intelligent energy, light, moves from the Logos, the sun, and penetrates our energy fields. Our energy centers act as magnetic attractors of this energy, pulling it upwards. Therefore, the sun can be seen as a type of broadcast station, radiating out information into the surrounding system, information which provides the keys for how matter should structure itself. If we look at a radio, we can observe that they work by receiving and amplifying low-frequency electromagnetic radiation called radio waves. Electromagnetic radiation is radiation that has both electric and magnetic fields and travels in waves. Radio waves are a type of low-frequency electromagnetic energy which we can use to transmit information, typically of audio broadcasts and music. In the case of radio, the information is transmitted through broadcast stations, and these are received via an antenna on a radio, which converts the electromagnetic waves into electrical currents. This allows the radio to play the audio that was transmitted. Like radio waves, sunlight is also electromagnetic in that it does produce oscillating electric and magnetic fields, though its frequency is much faster, and its electrical effects on things aren't typically visible to the naked eye. Since sunlight is electromagnetic, it is broadcasting energy out into a surrounding system. Let's look at what broadcast means in the spiritual context. In a channeling session, Guo mentions that through meditation, one can broadcast one's inner desires. Guo says, the meditative state is one in which the desires of one's being are broadcast like a frequency of assistance, of love, of light, of beingness, of desire to reach one's highest goals, of the ability to realize the incarnative plan. This passage makes sense in the context of magic, where a meditative state is fundamental when performing any sort of magical work. The purpose, suggests Guo, could be that, in that state, we are more open to broadcasting our intentions, thus receiving the assistance of intelligences. Lotwe suggests that there are other stations that are being broadcasted to us that we can't pick up just yet. They say, at the same time, there are other channels being broadcast, which that particular set is not at this time picking up. However, with a simple turn of a dial, it would pick up another channel and you would see a different universe. In fact, the very act of channeling is analogous to picking up a radio broadcast. You are tuning into a frequency that enables certain broadcasts to be spoken through a channel. Regarding broadcast, Guo also mentions, those who learn in a solitary fashion enhance their own understanding of the purpose of their incarnations and express that love which they have learned in a manner which is likened unto the radio station which broadcasts a certain frequency of information. These then, as all who have learned any portion of the lesson of love, become likened unto beacons for this love that is felt by all fellow entities upon the subconscious levels, as you would call them, and provide a kind of nourishment for the species much as the gardener provides the fertilizer for the plants within its garden, thus does the great creative power of love move through all its creations, whether they be found in the fertile valleys or the high mountain caves. One of the purposes of wanderers at this time is to act as broadcast stations, radiating love into the collective unconscious. By working on oneself, one becomes more and more capable of radiating love through them and into the collective. It is fascinating to think about how it is not only one's actions, but also one's thoughts that have a direct effect on everyone. This is why it is so important to remember that what we put into the deep mind has an effect on all. The groups that the LO Research Group channels continuously make references to broadcast, which implies that they are sending out a type of frequency. If this is the case, then the mind may function as a way to modulate frequency, sort of like a very advanced radio. It is also interesting to note that all stars in the universe broadcast various frequencies all the time, including radio waves. These, however, are classified as unmodulated, meaning they produce no discernible information such as music or a visual image. When measured, they seem to produce nothing discernible or significant. SETI, the organization set up to search for intelligent life in the universe, is actively searching for modulated radio waves, that is, radio waves whose source would have been an intelligently designed mechanical system. The word modulate is defined as to alter the amplitude or frequency, or to vary the strength, tone, or pitch. Is it possible that the planets in our solar system help to vary the strength, tone, or pitch of intelligent energy? The sun broadcasts intelligent energy, which is the idea behind the metaphor we call the photon. Ra says the logos creates light. The nature of this light thus creates the nature of the catalytic and energetic levels of experience in the creation. The nature of the light being broadcasted from the sun is unique to each star system. The nature of the light of our sun is different compared to the nature of the light being broadcasted from a different sun. According to Ra, the unique fundamental aspects of the intelligent energy emitted from the logos creates the underlying catalytic and energetic experiences possible within our solar system. Thus, the broadcasts from the sun are informing the system on how to arrange itself. The planets, informed by the light emitted from the sun, arrange themselves according to this underlying blueprint design in order to maximize the catalytic and energetic experience possible within our solar system. It's clear from Ra that we receive intelligent energy being broadcasted from the sun directly through the south pole of the magnetic fields of our bodies. Perhaps our own bodies function as modulators of intelligent energy too. If we receive intelligent energy from the sun directly, then what would be the point of the planets also acting as modulators of energy? Just like how the moon allows for a period of time where unconscious forces can be made conscious, perhaps the planets also function in a similar way. Their influence may be seen as a means to bring forth archetypes from the unconscious into conscious understanding. Or perhaps they are somehow involved in the regulation of archetypal expression, the guardians of the logos, so to speak. The various positions and degrees of the planets play a role in what archetypes are expressed, both individually and planet-wide, and it is likely the intelligent energy coming from the sun is being modulated by the planets themselves and the various angles that they take. The implications of this are the foundations for astrology and various magical systems, which will be explored in part 2.